Hey, it's Smith of the Commander Smiths here with Switcheroo Umbris for like the third or fourth time, but I kind of liked what I had before, but they came out with a gall dang horror precon deck, Mind Flayarrrs, for Commander Legends 2. And there's gonna be a bunch of cards in there that I want to get into this horror deck. I have a feeling, that probably doubled the amount of support for the Umbris deck, and you can see it in the price of Umbris more than tripling since this has come out. And so hopefully you bought yours before you got into the hype, because it was a cool card to begin with. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this precon. Essentially, I haven't even looked at it really officially, it's still in the wrap. And I'm going to take out the cards that I think look cool and can go in here, and and then see if I can actually fit them into the deck. So, and some of the stuff that I've learned from it through playing, and we'll just I'm not gonna cut it all. I'm not gonna cut it all. All right. And but we're gonna see what happens, I guess. Let's see what's in here. I know there's some gall dang good cards. But we're just gonna have to see if they can make it into the actual Umbris deck. So let's cut this in half. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I should probably plug us a little bit too. All right. Commander Smiths is a podcast and also on YouTube and on TikTok. If you want to check us out, subscribe, like whatever you see. That can help us out greatly. We want to do more and more of this. And so the more support we get, the more we're going to be able to convince our wives that we should be doing it more often. So that's the real push here, right? So we mostly run live on YouTube here. We record our podcast Monday nights, and then we officially release it on Wednesdays. It's a little bit more edited, a little bit more clean. But on Monday, you can buy us a shot or a beer or whatever. Dirty Jelly Bean. Um, Also, we have Patreon. If you want to, just $1 gets you into the Discord, and we're a pretty chill group. Hey, Renshai, thanks for joining. Because you said to, but because I wanted to. Okay. All right. All right. Um, and so where was I? So yeah, if you subscribe here, you'll get the notification when we're going live, because that makes it super easy. And let's see here. We're more this way. And and so yeah, we talk about cards, we talk about philosophies, we play a couple of games on the front end, back end. Um on Monday, we're going to have Staple Versus, which is one of our games, and that's going to end up being probably Sensei's Divining Top versus Scroll Rack, and we're gonna argue about which one is better. Um, and I normally lose. Normally, Adam is doing Proxy Time or something of his ilk on Sunday nights, but I released him of that duty to go play some real life games, and I'm just sitting at home. It's Father's Day. I hope you have a good relationship with your kids or with your father. If not, I'm sorry, but I probably shouldn't just have hugs, I guess. All right, moving on because I'm fucking up, right? Um, let's go through this deck, see if there's anything that I actually want to pull, and then we'll go through and see if it actually makes it into the deck. And then if there's time after that, I might kind of work on Beamtown Bullies, like I did on Thursday. I finished that deck up, but I've done a lot of tweaking at this point, and I want to do a little bit more. All right, Captain N-word. He's 3/6. Horrors you control have menace, which is nice. He is a horror, which is nice. Whenever a horror you control deals combat damage to a player, that player mills that many cards. Mill could be something like I have graveyard removal in there, and that could be nice either way. At the beginning of your end step, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there from the graveyard this turn. Put it into the battlefield under your control. So it's stealing stuff as well. I mean, I think that has a shot. All right. Zelix. It's a horror 2/3. Whenever a player mills one or more creature cards, you create a 1/1 black horror creature. Now that's nice because that will trigger Umbris for a horror coming into play. You're milling, so you're probably helping out. And then it also mills. So if we go more mill theme in Umbris, that could really help and work. I'm digging that. Um, Haunted One. This is a background. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature becomes tapped, it and another creature you control that shares a creature type, which it's a horror deck pretty much, with it each get +2/+0 and gain undying until end of turn, whenever this creature becomes tapped. Um, I don't love it, but I probably don't hate it. I don't know, probably not. All right, Arcane Signet doesn't make the cut. That's not even close. Rager's already in there. Plague Splitter's already been cut. Tubes is in. Siphon Mind is probably in. Drawn in the Lock wasn't in because it wasn't a mill deck before, but currently it's much more likely. So we can do that. Mind Stone's probably already in the deck. Mount Tower is already in the deck. Factor Fiction, that's kind of maybe. Dalthai Hoarder can't be blocked by white creatures, so that's kind of nice with the captain being the commander, but I don't know if that's really worth it for Umbris. Let's cut that for now. Dusk Mangler. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, discard a card, and or pay 4 life. Okay. Or 5/4. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. That's kind of big for a horror. I don't know if that's a reprint or not. We'll see. Feed the Swarm. Not at this point. Extract from Darkness. Also, probably not. I believe I have Lightning Greaves in there. Mind Crank for the mill could be worth it. Soul Ring's already in there. Talisman. Not sure about Thought Vessel being in there. Demir. Is that a horror? I did not know that. But it doesn't count ETB as one, so I don't care. Signet's in there. Chalice may or may not be. Doesn't really matter. Ash Barons. Nah. I don't need to work on the mana base unless something's very horror centric. Oh, Hero's Horn. I was going to add that in today anyway. So I have that in the cards that's going to be added in. And I can show you. We play with proxies. We make proxies. So that's going to be going in from the Precon. I'll actually also just show you what I was planning on working with. Netherborn Phalanx comes into play. Opponent loses 1 life for each creature he or she controls. Adds a horror, so that's kind of nice. Black Market Connections, being able to create those changelings is pretty sweet, along with drawing extra cards. Altar of Dementia, well, it could you sacrifice a creature, it mills cards. Umbris is huge, and that can help. A Cloudstone Curio is going to be able to bounce horrors back and forth a little bit. Then Urza's Incubator is going to reduce the cost of horrors by 2. So those will be added in as well. Let's see here. Another mill deck. Not really. It's more like make Umbris big. That's Umbris kills. He more one shots and is huge. So that's more of what's going to happen. But maybe it becomes a stronger mill deck than I'm thinking. I don't know. Land. Port of Carrefour. Oh, that's a get lime. All right. Aboleth Spawn. It's a horror. This is fantastic card. It's going in. I'll force that one in. Endless Evil. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except the token is 1/1. The enchanted creature dies. If that creature was a horror, return Endless Evil to its owner's hand. Oh, that's cool. I'm down with that. That's worth it. Grell Philosopher Horror 1/4 for only 3. That's worth it at this point. When Grell enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, each horror you control gains all activated abilities of target artifact and opponent controls until end of turn. You may spend blue mana as though it were mana of any color to activate this ability. That seems cool. Let's gain all activated abilities of target artifact and opponent. So that's like all your horrors can turn into, Soul Ring or whatnot. Yeah, seems cool. Psionic Ritual. So, okay, Renshai's asking, how do you make him big by what means? Umbris has, whenever a horror comes into play, exile, top of an opponent's land or until they hit a land from their library, and he gets +1/+1 for each card that's been exiled. And so he gets to be over 20 during a game. And when you come back, it triggers again, and then he's even bigger. And so he just starts one-shotting people. The game ends before milling actually becomes real, unless the game's going really long, and then it's just kind of a backup plan. So, Psionic Ritual, that's 6 mana, replicate, tap an untapped horror you control. That's pretty dope. That's an easy replicate. Uh, Exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard and copy it. That can be anybody's, yours or theirs. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. That seems crazy. That seems really cool in here. All right. Brain Stealer Dragon, 7. It's a 6/6 flyer. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of each opponent's library. You may play those cards for as long as they remained exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Whenever a non-land permanent an opponent controls enters the battlefield under your control, they lose life equal to the mana value. That seems sweet, but this deck is not stealing, and stealing is kind of a pain in the ass over video, so I'll avoid this, but I think this would be a good one to put in. That's a horror. I just want to avoid it just in this deck. I try and concentrate that on like in other decks, I guess. I don't have it if I'm gonna play it online or whatever, I don't want to be stealing their stuff. It's just a pain in the ass. So um from the catacombs. Put target creature card from a graveyard into the battlefield under your control with a corpse counter on it. You take the initiative. If that creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Escape 5. Put target creature card from a graveyard on the battlefield. So this is stealing and also like not horror centric at all. All right. Goes bye bye. This is a horror crab ooze. I'm not going to. Uchulon. Chutulu. All right, 4 for a its power is equal to the number of crabs, oozes, and or horrors you control. Weird. All right. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target creature card from an opponent's graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of. Oh, that's really cool. I'm down with that for sure. Skulker's already in. Forgotten Creation's already been cut. Fractured Sanity. I'm not going to worry about that. Again, this isn't a mill deck per se, but if I can get some of it with horror, I don't hate that, but I don't think I'm going to put it in there. Graslax is in there. Horror Hullbreaker's in there. Leyline of Anticipation. I'm not sure. Mind Flare is not in there. I didn't want that. It's Amalgam is already in there or not making it. Pull from Tomorrow might be worth it. Reflections of Liturgia. When it ETBs, choose a creature type, which would be horror. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Oh, all right. That could be something. That could be something. Sledge Monster is either in there or didn't make the cut. Same thing with Infiltrator. Black Market. I don't know how many creatures are going to die. Probably get rid of that. Choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't of the chosen type get -3/-3 until end of turn. Whatever. Curtain's Call. I'd say whatever. I have that. Dark Hatchling's either in there or out there. At the beginning of your end step, lose 4 life. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 2 life. No, probably not. Guilt Feeder. Attacks and isn't blocked. Defending player loses 1 life for each card in their graveyard. Now that this is a mill deck, more likely a mill deck. It has milling in it. Guilt Feeder is a bit better. We could check that out. Hex, probably not. Hunted Horror, probably not. In Garrick's Weight, probably not. It's probably not a bad one. Maybe that's something to consider. We'll see. Night Howler. This is better with the mill package as well. It's a horror, but it's also, when you're milling, it's getting +X for the number of creature cards in all graveyards. That makes sense. Umbris does want to exile those cards, though. And so you can make Night Howler a 0/0 and hose yourself. Probably not. Nihilith, probably not as well. I had it. It didn't make it. Sewer Nemesis. This is another mill one from Each equal to the number. Whenever a chosen player casts a spell, that player mills a card. Yeah, that's just not powerful enough. Used to be good. Wolf Strider's already in there. Consuming Aberration is not, but maybe. But it'll be in there now. Memory Plunder, Nemesis or Reason. That has another shot. That has a shot. I think I've cut Phyrexian. Crawler's in there. Spellskite's in there. And then we might be into the land package at this point. Is there anything crazy I don't know about that's worth putting in there? Tainted. Taint. Basics. It's a thick one. Tokens. All right. Nothing else. All right. That's fine. Some of these I had, and the deck changes just a little bit, and that's fine. We'll see how much this actually works. I'm gonna take a little drink here. Let's see here. Just chugging. All right. Not doing too bad. All right. This is 5 over, let's see here, 4, 6. Maybe that's different. All right. 5, 4, 6. It's a bit better. 3s. Then we're just going to eye up stuff. 2. Altar of Dementia becomes much better. Black Market is in there. That's 6. 3, 2, 7. That's probably not worth it at that point. 4 just as a card draw. Like, I have struggled with card draw in this. Like, I just kind of run out of stuff. Drawn and Lock probably doesn't matter. 3 and 5er. All right. Is going to be a random Umbris, like just kind of going through it and eyeing it up at first to see if there's just like weaker cards that can kind of come out. All right. Like I said, Talisman. Let's see. Soul Ring, Spark double on Umbris is crazy good. Aether Spouts is also quite good because that puts attacking creatures on top of their library, and then I can play one. Get out of here, Cole. I'm not cutting Soul Ring. Not cutting my ramp. But Aether Spouts puts a bunch of creatures on top or bottom, and then if I cast a horror, it exiles all those creatures. And basically, it's awesome. Because sometimes you're going to hit a land way more than you anticipate. So, Doom Weaver, I haven't been able to play, but people target Umbris. He's huge, and you'll be able to draw a bunch of cards in there. Question mark? It should be good. Preordain has been nice. All right, like I said, Dark Hatchling is in there, but it's expensive, so that's willing to be a cut spot. Tasha's hideous laughter is essentially going to make Umbris a one shot. It's good. Satora Umazawa. So this is something that I was thinking, like being able to ninjutsu horrors back to your hand to be able to put another one into play, having them go back and forth, and maybe that's just what Cloudstone Curio is better at this point. So let's potentially think that's that. Sakashima's copying Umbris, which is crazy. Ravenous Tubes, like I said. Shadow Spear's there to give Umbris lifelink and trample. Falthus is Medicine Death Touch for Umbris, and it's also a nightmare, so that'll trigger Umbris. That's fine. It's cheap. All right, but I could be focusing more horror. Phyrexian Reclamation has been, it's always an all-star. I wouldn't worry about that. Thassa's giving unblockable and just some of that. Mimic Vat was put in there so that if something dies, I can kind of just replay it over and over for the ETBs and the Umbris. But I'm willing to say, like, whatever. Part of Monocon is to double that up. Arcane Signet is ramp. Web of Inertia. At the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, that player may remove a card in his or her graveyard from the game. If that player doesn't, creatures he or she controls can't attack you this turn. So this becomes way worse if I'm purposely um milling people. It's still pretty good if I got one of those locks where I can just like hit it. I think I still like it. Hullbreaker Horror, like I said, is in there. Overcharged Amalgam. This is one that I'm kind of whatever about. Like, it is kind of nice where you can counter spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. That's pretty flexible. Um, but I'm willing to skip it. Ashiok's pretty sweet. Makes nightmares. And then kind of like milling theme. Curse of Swine is exile removal. So is Deadly Rollick. Sakashima is also copying Umbris, which is sweet. All right. Stinging Study is some solid draw. Kurik is a horror that kind of helps me out with that black mana, like paying 2 life. Not going to totally worry about it. And then it gets bigger whenever you cast a big spell. Lifelink. I'm good with it. Lithoform Engine. It's been questionable. It's been okay. It's just expensive. And so it's something that I'm willing to consider cutting. Leyline of the Void is going to be really good for milling or just in general. Demeter Signet, yeah. Sire of Stagnation staying in. And same thing with Oblivion Sower. That's staying in. Doom Whisper is a damn scary card. It's a nightmare, so it ETBs, and then you can just surveil until you get to the card that you need. It does a lot for the deck. It's a nightmare that I'm willing to keep in. Greaves, like I said, Spellskite's in, Ponders, sweet. Sword of Hearth and Home is there to ramp a bit and also blink a horror, so that's fantastic. Felwar Stone is some good ramp. Oh, Sludge Monster did make it in. It's something that I've been kind of iffy back and forth on. I'm willing to see if there's something better that comes in. Top is great. Sword of the Animus is great. Boots. Yep. Foul Watcher has been nice. ETBs, surveils, exiles, and then it can be a 2/2 flyer for 2. It's just nice that it's cheap, and I'm right with it. So Guy Lantern is again some graveyard hate. Same thing with Lantern of the Lost, graveyard hate. Razlax is in there, like I said. Rager's in there, like I said. Same thing with Strider. All right, Protective Bubble is there to give Umbris unblockable and Shroud, so they're just not going to be able to target it. Phyrexian Obliterator is just a horror, so it's on theme. I want to use it, and so it's going to be in the deck. Wayfarer's Bauble. Yes, tutoring. When did I tutoring? Oh, like with, you mean paying 2 life each time I activate it? Come on, that's not tutoring. That's at least fair tutoring. It's brutal. Come on. Is this what you're let's get there. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? All right. If you're new to the channel, something that we don't really do is we don't really tutor and we don't really combo. We have synergies and we have fair-ish combos except for Magda. That's Adam. That's Adam's fault, not mine. But we don't really run Vampiric Tutor, Worldly Tutor, Enlightened Tutor. We'll avoid those. Demonic Tutor. Um, so those really efficient, high, we just don't. And the reason why we don't do that is because it makes games too consistent. And I'm already seeing that in Beamtown Bullies, but I don't think there's any way around that either. So, we try and make the decks high efficiency, high power. They're almost always working, and that's what you want to. That's what we go for. Bobble is in for the ramp. Dead Presence. This one's iffy. It's been kind of like off and on where it'd be nice if I drew more from it. That's kind of what I want to do. Um, sorry. Ah. So we can put that on chopping block a little bit. Chasm Skulker stays. It's a damn good card. Read the Bones is quite good. Toxic Deluge is there to just clear the board because Umbris is always going to be the biggest creature on the board. And so I'm going to be able to pay the most amount of life, have Umbris still stick around, and then move on from there. Ashes to Ashes is exiling 2 creatures, whatever I want. It's solid. Ashiok removes graveyards. It's perfect. Yarok's Fenlurker removes or exiles cards from hand. It has been quite nice. It's worked pretty well. Thing in the Ice. I don't have a lot of it's a nice early horror that can potentially bounce everybody's stuff except for yours because uh cast an insert sorcerer spell, remove. All right, let's look at that backside. Pretty sure it bounces everything but horrors. Transforms into Awoken Horror. Return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hand. So like it's kind of its own board removal thing. So it's been nice. It's pretty cool. Protection Racket is something that I've really liked, but I haven't actually gotten to play it. And so it's something that I'm willing to take a look at before that. Wharf Infiltrate is just early and often. Mindstone, like I said, I got it in there. Gravestorm also in there. All right. So some choices that I'm looking for there. Let's see. Getting some messages. All right. Okay. All right. So I think it's disproportionate at this point, but let's take a little bit of a look, at least in that realm. Oh, did I do that wrong? 4/4. We could do that because I think we really are getting a boost in the 2s and 3 range. 4, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 6. All right. So I think I'd already kind of pointed out that Cloudstone Curio is going to be a back and forth, very similar to Satoru Umezawa. I don't have much evasion, so I feel like that's a fair switch. Like I don't it allows me to kind of sit back and not worry about what's going on here. Um Dark Hatchling could be a change in any of that. 1, 2, 3 for there. We'll cut the Dark Mangler. I don't think we need that at all. Um so those are fair trades in comparison. Sludge Monster. All right, Captain. Guilt Feeder. Consuming Aberration. All right. The reason why I remember cutting Aberration before was because if I wipe the graveyards, it becomes a 0/0 and just I kill it. And so that was enough reason to get rid of it. Nemesis or Reason is probably the same thing, probably a little expensive. Um so I guess at this point we'll maybe cut them. Reflections seems like everything that I want Lithoform Engine to be, if that makes sense. Let's see here though. Uchulin. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target creature card from an opponent's graveyard. If you do, make a token of Uchulon. That also seems like what Lithoform Engine wants to be doing. It's cheaper. Also a horror. Let's see here. Whatever. And like, hey, giving my Horror's Menace seems like I really like that idea. Deals combat damage. That player mills that many cards. That also like that's going to feed big time into Umbris. Choose target, and then you get to steal stuff. Oh shit. All right. I don't want to steal stuff. That kind of sucks. That's all right. And then I think maybe a little bit more of the mill can kind of go. Maybe that doesn't really matter at that point. Guilt Feeder can probably get cut. At this point, I'm liking the idea of Uchalon for Lithoform engine. Like Fact or Fiction, I could probably care less about. I don't really care about that one. Um, okay. Let me just think about that. Mind Crank. Let's see. What does that do? Whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. Um, that does seem pretty good. And then Drown in the Lock. Counter target spell or destroy target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of cards in that controller's graveyard. Do I care about that? The countering the spell part is what's going to probably put it in there. All right, I like those three at this point. Reflections can probably go away. I think it's just going to be too expensive. I think we could put Sludge Monster in and consider these three cards for these two slots. Those two are there. These are some pretty good cards that I want to go in the deck. This 3 spot is pretty huge. All right, so I don't have a lot of spots for that, but I think Black Market Connections is probably an easy switch for Protection Racket, and Protection Racket just kind of goes somewhere else. I'm fine with that. This is a mill, but it's also creating horrors, and so I'm good with that. Let's see here. That's each opponent loses 1 life for each creature he or she controls. And in Garruk's Wake, I mean, I've had this before. I'm just sitting here kind of going like, what I don't have like Toxic Deluge is in there, but if I can get up to in Garruk's Wake, that just kind of ends the game for me. Like I'm able to clear the board and then Umbris kind of goes. So I think that can go in for Dark Hatchling. I'm okay with that. Thought and idea. Sludge Monster is removal. Like I'm fine with Psionic Ritual because it's casting spells, right? Sorceries, instants or sorceries. So it's not trying to get things onto my board, and I wouldn't consider that stealing. That's something. Um, it's just like casting something from somebody's graveyard, which is sweet. And this is it's horror. It's going to go in this deck. It's kind of a big card advantage card, so maybe we consider it something like Dread Presence. Because it's something that's going to get a lot more work out of what I'm doing. Like Dread Presence is just kind of slow. It and so I'm all right with that at that point. Running out of spots. All right, so I got 3, 4, and we're in these slots right here. And if we want to make it easy, it's Zelix, Herald's Horn, Incubator, and Spawn. That's what's happening there. That's the easy spot. And that all makes sense to me. I want those cards in there. That makes Umbris come out a lot easier. The card advantage part makes it easier. Let's see here. Because I'm cutting horror 1, 2, 3, and putting in 1, 2. Cutting, adding, and maybe cut. Shit, that doesn't bode well if I'm going to be in there with less. Have I made my cuts? All right. So that's kind of where we're at right there. We like these 3, but let's do some switcheroos here. All right. Sludge Monster. We'll get Zelix in. It's kind of a nice mill. I got a couple of cards that will randomly mill to get the horrors, but if it didn't mill itself, it wouldn't be good enough. All right. Let's see here. Falthus can go out. I think Spawn. Yeah, Spawn's going to be some craziness in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems really cool. Flash War 2. All right. Overcharged Amalgam. We'll put that in there. Herald's Horn hopefully is enough. Can we move on to the good deck now? What does that mean? Beamtown Bullies? Is that what you're saying? Because that deck seems incredibly mean. All right. So right now we're looking at. Okay. No, not yet. Not yet. At some point, maybe. Like I said, we're at 35 minutes. We're kind of rolling along, not too bad here. We'll probably have time to get over to Bullies and take a look at it. We'll have to get the probably upped my curve. That could be rough. Let's see here. I really like the idea of Mind Crank in there, though. Or does that just stop everybody from looking at each other and then just going, well, we can't feed the graveyard? That's probably what happens. Drown and Lock probably gets a bit worse because I don't have much mill in there. Altar probably doesn't need to be in there either. We can cut those from the idea. Getting activated abilities, draining and creating copies all seem really quite good. And so I'll have to see if there's anything close to that. Let's see here. All right, so right now we've changed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not a bad day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Those are just ones that I had planned on going in. Have been cut as well. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. I thought I had some other cards I already put in. Nope. All right. So I kind of like what's going on. I do still like the idea of trying to get those into the deck. So this would be random bonus. This is creating tokens, and this is like life loss. And there isn't a whole ton of like back and forth, but it's also could be a tutor transmuting. That's not really what that is here for. One worry that I have is I'm not sure how many horrors are in here anymore. So I'm hoping I can trigger my guy enough. We'll consider that because it's a changeling that can come into play. Or so like the question ends up being, oh, that's a nightmare. I didn't realize that was a nightmare more. So like how nightmarish do I want to go? I think there's just the two cards right now. There's a 2 Eldrazi, which is they're awesome. So that would trigger 6, 7. The other one's 9. All right. And if I can have something. Oh, that's actually a really good point. Okay, so how many? I have Aether Spouts in here too. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, 20, 21, 22. 22 things that can trigger. All right. I think in Garruk's Wake, we'll end up getting recut. I like the idea of Aether Spouts anyway. Yeah. Maybe it just doesn't matter. I like the idea of Aether Spouts. I think Wake is probably too expensive. Let's say that. Let's say that Wake is too expensive. So Wake goes away. That's getting cut. I have Aether Spouts and I have the -1/-1 for life type thing. So that's already going to happen. Herald's Horn is really only affecting like 20 cards. It's still pretty light. I have top in here. What else? It's already problematic. All right, so we have, let's break this up into removals. All right, let's get Garrick's Wake out. And let's do the Phalanx in. That gets me at least one more. I think, yeah, I like the idea of that still. All right, let's break this up into what they do and see if there's anything that we definitely like need. All right. Removal. Let's just, let's see here. All right. That exiles the top 2. Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And then that player exiles a card from their hand. All right. It's probably a little expensive, but it creates nightmares, which aren't really affected other than this energy. Ramp. Graveyard exiles. Draw protection. This is ramp in this deck. This is draw in this deck. Draw, ramp, removal, incursion. That's kind of a protection. That is exile. There's that. That is doubling. All right. Ramp. This is protection. Call that ramp. It's kind of both. Probably more ramp than anything. That's graveyard exile, exile protection. Ramp. Draw. Considered ramp. That's probably card advantage. This is probably doubling up. Consider that. All right. Ramp, exile, removal, draw, ramp, protection. That can be, I don't know, random ass shit. All right, spark doubles there. This is the draw, removal. That's technically ramp. That is protection. And this is making tokens. I don't know, random ass shit. All right. Surveil is a little bit of ramp. This is probably also random, but card advantage. Card advantage, scrying, card advantage. Exile, but also tokens. So we'll do that. That's removal. Consider that card advantage. Making tokens. Removal, draw. All right. So I think, let's see here. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except the token is +1/+1. When enchanted creature dies, if that creature is a horror, return endless evil to its owner's hand. So that makes a ton of sense to me. I think that's a really, really good card in here. Grell Philosopher. ETBs, and at the beginning of each upkeep, each horror you control gains all activated abilities. So I think, okay. Let's think about that a little bit. Kirk, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I think I would say probably Herald's Horn and Urza's Incubator are maybe the loosest at this point. Like, I just don't have enough horrors. I have like 20. because my clones that count for the ETB part don't count for incubator or horn. And then I have a couple of nightmares in there, like 2 or 3. So I don't necessarily think like those could be just easy cuts. I wanted them in there, and maybe I'm wrong. All right, Ashiok, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that all makes sense. Draw a card off those. This is just straight trying to win the game there. Leyline of the Void makes a ton of sense, and so Ashiok so good. The clones and Spark Double and Cloudstone Curio. Curio doesn't get as good without those cost reductions, but being able to probably bounce something is probably pretty powerful. Is my guess. Let's see here. Reclamation, Spellskite, Protective Bubble is pretty good too. Boots. Web of Inertia, Thassa, Shadow Spear, Lightning Greaves. I think they're all good in here. That's solid. I'm fine with that. Uchalon. All right, so maybe let's reread this because maybe there's a cost reduction. All right, create a 2/3 blue and black nightmare creature token with whenever this creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. They exile a card from their hand. You may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost. I probably don't. If I that's kind of like top end. 2/3 exile stuff when it ETBs. It feels like a decent endless evil, like this one right here. At the beginning of your upkeep. It's done work for me. It's done well for me, actually. The mill part. All right. It's probably fine at this point. Removals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're probably going to be all right. So like Deluge, Aether Spouts, Curse of the Swine. Yeah, we didn't need. That's enough. Like mass dealing with. That's fine. That's fine. I'll probably. It kind of looks like I'm never going to be able to hit the flip part, but just Thing in the Ice is solid. Correct. Like I feel like Herald's Horn was going to hit just as much as like. Let's see here. Did I cut it already? Yeah, I think I cut it. Probably was going to feel like it was going to hit like Dread Presence. Like randomly, not very good. Still going to, every once in a while it ain't bad. Oh, actually, I remember playing Dread Presence. Now I want to get that in there. Shit. Because Hearth and Home, and then I added an Animist, and it has been working really well. All right. Well, I'm glad that I remembered that. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see here. Like that, probably not. That should have probably been in the trick. No, I don't know. I don't know where that goes. Singing Study, Gravestorm, Sire, Ponder. Oof. Okay. I think let's simplify this a bit. I think we cut Herald's Horn. I think we cut Incubator, and we put in the 2 new cards. and I need to re-find a spot for Dread Presence. There we go. That's what's going to happen. Grell. Let's see here. Let's do the deck CMC. We're just looking for a Dread Presence at this point. Is there a fake? Dread Presence was better than I was thinking. Remembered after the switcher last time, it made a lot of sense. All right, 6, 1, 4. All on. Let's make sure we're all on, huh? 1, 2, 3, 5. I still think Incubator could have been all right in here, but it gets a little iffy. 3, 1. You know, it'd work some of the times, and I like being able to be, you know, very similar, or I guess efficient, or just that's more of what I'm looking for, is consistent. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. And I don't even know if Cloudstone Curio is going to do what I want it to do, but it'll be good enough to start off with it. Let's look through it. 3. Sakashima's 4. 4s. A lot of 4s. 3, 2, 1. 3, 6. 1. A lot in that 3 category. 4 and 3. So we're doing all right. We don't have much for like 1 mana ramp. You know, I'd probably be happier with yeah, nothing super high. Like Horror and Curse of the Swine, as big as you can get it. Makes sense to me. I don't have any problem with that. 6 is a little fat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, it ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Netherborn Phalanx, Doomweaver, Sire Stagnation. That's a horror. I don't dislike that. Like, just those high bombs get shifted down. Let's see here. Ashiok makes nightmares. Trying to get Dread Presence in here. Aether Spells makes a ton of sense. Doom Whisper is good. Stinging Study. Don't have any problem with that stuff either. Let's see here. Line of the Void. Panharmonicon is going to double up the Umbris trigger, exiling more cards. Spark Double, also very similar. Uchalon. It's okay. But I mean, doubling that, or making it, and then, yeah. Yep. That seems sweet. Sakashima. Kirk has been iffy. Like, I'm not playing a ton of spells on a turn. Tubes. Obliterator. Bubble. All right. I don't know if cutting Kuruk is the right thing. I probably want to cut a non-horror spell. Zelix. Whenever a player mills 1 or more creature cards, you create a 1/1 black horror creature token. Whenever a player mills. So that could be me. I don't think I have any mill in here. Sword makes sense. Spawn. Scholar. Skulker. Rager. Cloudstone Curio. Yeah. Wolf Strider. Black Market. Connections. Create a treasure. Let's ramp. Create or draw a card. And create like this does everything. I might be paying 6 life to have all that stuff happen. That's crazy. Ashes to Ashes. Toxic. Thassa. Gravestorm. Web of Inertia. Like I really dropped on those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Ashes to Ashes might be something that we get rid of. That might be something like it's paying 5 life is the rough part. Arcane, Foul Watcher, Foul Stone, Animist, Mind Stone, Greaves. Yarok, Spell, Thing of the Ice, Demir, Signet. All right, I'm pretty sure we're going to go with Ashes to Ashes. Just get rid of some of that removal. Maybe it just doesn't matter. 1, 2. Yup. All right. We'll get rid of Ashes to Ashes. Kind of hurts me to get rid of it because it's perfect for this deck, but need a few more creatures, and it adds to the drawing of the deck. That's where we're going to be at. Unless I had a land. I could have maybe cut a land. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 6, 28, 9, 30. No, 36. All right. Can't cut any more lands. Unwilling to. All right. We're going to say that Umbris is done in under an hour, barely. Anybody want to talk Beamtown Bullies? Is that something you want to be doing right now? What time are we? Almost 10. Let's see here. Is Renshai still around? Is he still here? I haven't pulled any of the cards that I'm thinking about right now, but I kind of just want to see if there's room for it. I haven't even pulled the lands. All right. Let's go through and make life more efficient. You're potentially just getting an eye full of what the deck is doing. I was wrong about a guesstimation or just thinking about a couple of cards. So it's definitely changed from when, part 2, if you're watching it here. And down to 36 lands, like the deck just is going to be super aggressive. I'm trying to be as fat. This is trying to be like the end of the night. Let's get a quick game in type game. And so that's the aim. That's what I'm going for. And I don't know if it's interesting. One thing that I want to try and get in here is sneak attack. I want to get sneak attack in here. I'm only running 36 lands. Normally my rule for all right, Renshai is here. Beamtown is fun. All right. Let's do Beamtown. We'll work on this a little bit. I haven't pulled anything, like I said, but one thing that I was talking about last time is I was running a lot of sorceries at 2 mana that were my ramp, and I think I switched it up to as many 1 mana like creatures that tap for mana into Cultivate and Kodama's Reach. So I added those in here, and it's one reason is because I have like spells that like discard a card to draw 2 or 3 or whatever, draw 2 cards. And so having those extra land potentially in hand from Reach and Cultivate has been nice, along with those Eldrazi need more land as well. They're heavy in land, and so I felt like a little early power into later power was better than consistently like 2 into turn 4 with those lands. So I wanted to go like have my turn 3 really powerful. And so also the other thing is like I'm not actually discarding that many cards. Like I don't really want to. Have you had a chance to play the deck yet in a real game? No, I have not. But just messing around with it, goldfishing. that it's a little clunky, but it's not at the same time. Like, it can just kind of win out of anywhere, it feels like, and it feels really powerful. I got Leveler in there. Like, there's 3 or 4 cards that just kind of win you the game, or really wreck it for your opponents. Um, and so let's see here. It's a pretty powerful deck. I can see why people don't like playing against it for sure. I tried to get a little meaner and added in Turgrid, and I don't think that's the right call because I was like, I'm running Wheel of Fortune anyway. I can add in Dark Deal. I have sacrificing from some of the Eldrazi. I was like, you know what, that could be a neat little fit, but I don't think it's what I want to be doing. Um, if the Eldrazi are going, it's just kind of I'm winning. I'm winning. The deck is working, and it's kind of a dead card if my deck isn't working. So I need something that's going to make the deck work more. Make sure Pathrazor of Ulamog is just going to be tough. Like whether it be reanimation, which I don't think is necessarily the tact I should be taking. Added in Siphon Mine. This still might stick around, but and so I think what I'm going to need is what you were talking about last time, Renshai, was more protection. Right now I only have like Boots, Greaves, Trickery. That's probably where I'm at, and I think I just need more of that. That's been a thought there. But the deck is running pretty well. And I am right from last time, like Buried Alive, Entomb, they're just tutors. They're tutors in this deck, and it's going to streamline the deck a bit more than I'm going to be used to. But at the same time, like that's fine. It's not going to be a play it whenever I'm feeling weird. It's like I'll probably play it one time. Yeah, I put Tibalt's Trickery in the deck. And yeah, Turgrid is probably feel bad, but I don't think it's gonna really work well in the deck anyway. So I'm not gonna be terribly worried about it. I'm not sticking with it. It's a card that's gonna get cut here. Underrealm Lich, Leveler is gonna be a feel like there's a lot of feel bad cards. Doom Whisperer has been pretty nice in here as a just start dumping cards into the library. I kind of have been liking it. Underrealm Lich, nice. All right. Got Ulamog's Crusher in there. It's Annihilator 2. It's also a common. I can use it. Pathrazor of Ulamog, Annihilator 3, Artisan of Kozilek, Breaker of Armies, and Bane of Balaged. So this is gonna just kind of remove most creatures from whoever's going to be attacked. Bane of Balaged is having them sacrifice or exiling 2 permanents they have. Those are some big Eldrazi. The problem is like it's either going to be late game, which is fine on playing them. So like the 8 mana ones are legit. Like these 3 can be played. Artisan is like end game, and maybe I have another Eldrazi in there, but Pathrazor of Ulamog probably just isn't going to be able to be cast. And I'd like for them to be. And again, I think Sneak Attack might just be better. Hull Carver Demon is just mean. Boom, boom, boom. Those are just mean. Let's see here. But again, like I was saying, I think I need more protection in there too. Siphon Mine, I think still might be worth it. Bronze Bombshell's sweet. Either Days is perfect. Inverter of Truth is one of those win cons. Jared's Orders, like the thing is, like the deck isn't super good. There isn't enough like draw discard types cards that are powerful enough or deep enough to make it work without Entomb and Vile Entomber and Jared's Orders. Like these cards are almost needed in the deck, which is kind of a bummer. Because they do make the deck more consistent, but that's kind of what I want anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm being torn on what's going on, but Violent Tumor is gorgeous and it's perfect in this deck. So, yeah. Um, let's see here. Buried Alive, solid. Yep. Angie's Falcon Wrath, I think, has a shot to be switched into something else. Electric Revelation, Thousand Year Elixir, Royal Assassin, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, because it's drawing me 7. Reaper is good. Chaos Warp is just basic removal, just those bare bones. Dark Deal is not something I want to have happen because it doesn't draw me more cards, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. That's why I like Siphon Mine probably more than Dark Deal. So Dark Deal is probably on the chopping block. Mana plus untapping is perfect. Necropotence is fucking bonkers in here in a deck. Come on. Beast Within, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, and Painful Truths. If anybody likes something other than Painful Truths, let me know. And it's a card that I've been thinking a lot more in 3-color decks. But if there's something there, ooh, hold on there. I just freed up that spot. Let's see here. Is this where Protection Racket works? Let's see here. All right, Protection Racket. At the beginning of your upkeep, repeat the following process for each opponent in turn order. Reveal the top card of your library. That player may pay life equal to that card's mana value. If you do, exile that card. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Okay, so they can either pay, like if it's an Eldrazi, they'd pay 5 for Leveler and exile it. I don't know if that's gonna work. All right, I gotta catch up. I would also suggest Phalos. Yeah, you kind of said all that, but I don't know if protection. Maybe. Also, don't overlook a braid. The card does work. You can use my staple verses of Read the Bones. You have a signed copy of it now. Oh, that's true. That's somewhere in. That's true. Okay, so is Read the Bones better than Painful Truths? I don't think I like Protection Racket in here. They can exile win cons. I don't know if I like that idea. Read the Bones could be an easy switch for Dark Deal. Let's think about that a little bit. All right. Sylvan Library is friggin' good, of course. Boots, Elder, Thrill Possibility, Arcane Signet, Titan Rex, Survival of Fittest. Scrub Ranger has been a nice addition. It's like returning a force to your hand to untap target creature. And so that could be Beamtown, that could be there's some cards in here with tap abilities. You know, your ramp is all 1, so you don't really want to use that unless it's a Royal Assassin works with that. I guess I got rid of that other thing. Maybe I don't. I think it's still kind of good. And then I just have a bunch of rampers. Is that all I have? You know, might help with Deathrite Shaman a little bit. Yeah. All right. Maybe not as good as I was thinking. That's on the chopping block, but I have another one that I think I want. All right. Trickery's in there. 2 and draw 2. Yeah. All right. Quest for Renewal, Tormenting Voice, Fauna Shaman. Fauna Shaman with Scrib Ranger has been nice, but maybe that doesn't matter as much. Mage Right, Dockside, Hermit Druid, Unmarked Grave. All right. So we got 4 switches. Shoot, and I have some other ideas too. All right. Hierarch, Looting, Shadow, Scepter, Soul Ring, Shaman, Elves, Top, Birds of Paradise. Deflecting SWAT makes a ton of sense. Mystic and Entomb. All right. So these 4 I think are acceptable. We want some protection. I think so. I don't have a lot of spell removal. I have Beast Within and Chaos Warp, and that's not necessarily for um creatures. And so I want to add at least I need to see if I have some extra copies of Dense Foliage. Um and that would end up probably being Tigrid. That's 3 mana enchantment. Let me see if I can find that beast. Let's see here. Well, I think we'll want to get Read the Bones in there. I think we'll want to get Read the Bones in there. And then, so that'll be Read the Bones. Because I'm not really discarding. So Dense Foliage. I want to find my Sneak Attack. And this is probably another protection. Okay, let's see if I can get Dense Foliage. Maybe I'm hoping that I have an extra copy somewhere. Otherwise, I gotta figure it out. So Dense Foliage, what it does is it creatures cannot be the target of spells. I don't really fill up the graveyard a whole ton. And that's really helpful if you're not running a lot of spells that target your creatures. And so sometimes that'd be nice. Sometimes it can hurt you. But in this deck, it's pretty creature heavy and doing its thing. So that's I think it can really work here. I like how cheap it can be. I just use it a lot. And so I'm hoping that I have another copy. You're not helping, Renshai. All right. Let's see. You should also run Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Imperial Seal, Diabolic Intent, Wishclaw Talisman as well. It really helps to get the win cons. I believe you. There we go. Dense Foliage. All right, that's going in. Ooh, okay. It was my last one. Let's see here. Is there anything else green? Potentially. Let's see if I have any of the cards you were asking about laying around. Oops. I have I think my Veil of Summer is in Calamax. We don't have any proxies of that. Ogre Devil. Nah. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to be if somebody can overrun me super quick, or they're getting to the point where they can overrun me, where Spore Frog is needed. My deck just isn't working. And I think that's a little bit of the problem with combo decks that are so dedicated, counter target activated ability. Not here. Is if the deck isn't working, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's kind of problematic. So Asceticism could go in, but they're really only going to be going after the bullies. If they're wasting after the first couple games, if they're wasting their mana removal on other cards, they're silly. They should save removal for what I give them or the bullies. And more than likely the bullies. Exploration might be. All right. That's fine. All right. We know. Let's see here. So one thing I think might be a little bit better. So I took this out from before, Eric Lore Mage. And this still might has a chance. It just doesn't have Annihilator, or it's just, it's just a big fatty. So there's probably just similar things. Where'd that go? Vitalize. Vitalize turns into one thing that I didn't think about, but in this deck, with all those 1-mana rampers, like it turns into a ramp spell as well. And so maybe I like that better than Scrib Rangers currently. So we have that and that. And so the other thing that I said I wanted was Sneak Attack. I don't think I have a current proxy of that. Let's see here. Let's see. Hopefully I have the in here. I might have it in another deck too. I don't know. Shit. All right, let's see if I have. Let's see if I have a proxy, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Otherwise, I would have probably grabbed it. Let's see here. All right, Kiki Jiki. Sometimes it's just go through the proxies and see what good cards can kind of go in as well. But the Ready, Koth, Chroma, Dockside's already in there, Deflection Swat. I kind of learned that I don't like Jessica's Will in the in more than 2 color decks, even though it's, I'm sure it's a great card. All right, I do not have a Sneak Attack sitting around. All right, so we'll just move on. I'm not going to cry. Cry me a river. All right, black is going to be Bitter Blossom, Vampiric Tutor, Chaos, Sorin, Rise of the Dark Realms, Grave Titan, Razaketh, Kokusho. Oh, that's right. I did have an idea. Okay, I don't have Sneak Attack, which is a bit of a bummer. I kind of disagree with that. Renshai is saying that Jessica's Will is so good in any red deck, and I don't necessarily agree with that. When you're in 3 colors, like in my Hinata deck, I cast Jessica's Will for 2, and the 3 cards that were revealed were what? They were all white. The red mana did not help at all, and I cast nothing. That's not fully true, but like it was not the play that I wanted to do. I just didn't want to waste all that mana. And so I don't necessarily think it's as great of a card in a 3+ color deck. Yes, it is. I don't even know that I already pass it. You're a little bit behind me. Yeah, so that was made that proxy way back when I was much more into Disturbed. Yeah, that dude's sweet, isn't he? I got that one off of Google searches, whatever it is, but he looks sweet. I don't think there's anything in the black proxies that are going to do me any good either. For what I have going on in the deck. Whenever a creature you control dies, yeah. I mean, Plunder is my own stuff. Bitter Blossom might be all right for like just creating a wall, but it's kind of uninspiring. So the question ends up being, is there anything in green that can help here? And I've already looked through this as well. I don't have something for Sneak Attack. That's the problem. There isn't much that can replace Sneak Attack. The card is crazy good. Heroic Intervention. That can be a protection card. Like, just be happy with that. Um, Greater Hoof, me. Fauna Shaman. Oh, I guess I didn't realize I had a proxy of that one. That's an old one too. Might as well put it in here. Life from the Loam. Is that something that matters? You could always make a sneak attack proxy. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much talent in anything. So as of right now, it's just in the back of my mind. It's fine. I don't have to like go out and do it. It's just an idea that I wouldn't mind trying out in there. Um we can not worry about that. Doubling Season, old Gnawbone. We don't want to give anybody those kind of treasures, right? Freyalise, Constant Miss. So the other thing that I think I'm going to want to all right, with that particular build, you don't need to go very heavy with protection, but having 3 to 5 protection cards is a good idea. Yeah, so right now I only have like 4. Well, I guess so I have Boots, Greaves, Trickery, and Deflecting Swat, and now I have Heroic Intervention. And so and that there might be one more, but I think what I want to do is something different as well. I think what I want to do is let's see here. Let's put that away. It's a card that I like quite a bit. And in this build, I think is going to be super helpful as well. All right. And I used it in whatever I built last time. Let's see here. What was whatever I was working on lately. Maybe, not Beamtown Bullies, but the deck before that. Those discarding cards. What the hell was I doing? I hope that I have another copy of it. It's like discard a creature card, bring a creature card back into your hand. I don't know if I put it away then. Oh. Let's see here. These are just black cards I haven't put away yet. Grim Hireling would be decent. I'm not really looking to like. Oh, Elder Brain is a horror. All right. Tax target player. No. All right. Deadly Dispute. Siphon Mind. Let's see. No. Faceless Butcher. Cunning. Tortured Existence. All right. Choose and discard a creature. Oh, Rafine. Rafine, this is pretty good. And return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So, like, if I end up discarding or like getting something in my hand, like one of these bad creatures I don't want to be casting at all, then I can get a dead good creature that I already like. Yeah, I think. All right. I like Tortured Existence. I feel this card is solid. Okay. I think that's what we're working with. I like that idea better than Angie Falconwrath. Finally getting to see one live. Thanks for joining us. Good. All right. All right. Trickery can counter the Cyclonic Rift that will get played. Yeah. Yeah, I mean there's definitely some truth to that. And so oops. So Tortured Existence is going in. Falcon Wrath is going out. Heroic Intervention, I think, is, it's kind of just necessary evil because the deck just isn't gonna work. I think Scrib Rangers can go out, Vitalize can go in just as like a one shot, gonna do better. Or, I can pay 1 green, untap a bunch of like, elves and be able to get to that Eldrazi mana a bit quicker. Tergrid, I just don't think is gonna be consistent in the deck. Because if I'm attacking with the Eldrazi, Tergrid just isn't needed. And then Fauna Shaman can go in when I see it. All right, so let me find the Fauna Shaman. No. Let's see here. There we go. Take that out. Shaman in. Ooh, all right. Which one? The fairy with Vitalize? Is that what you're thinking is just a better one? It might work, it might not. It might not even be needed. You guys want to see me kind of play through it a little bit? I'm probably willing to put in like a half hour of just like goldfishing it. Because this is a bit newer. Umbris, I've played through. I kind of know how that's going to work a little bit. Some of the newer cards might not be worth it, but it'll be worth giving it a shot. So I'll kind of play through it just so Scud doesn't feel like he hopped on for nothing. Hey, also make sure that you give this a like if you're enjoying it, or if you're just a masochist and watching this for no reason. I apologize, but either way, it helps us. Everybody knows it kind of helps with the algorithm, and if you're this long into it, you are likely cool with what we're doing. So that would be appreciated. Let's see here. Yeah, the deck was running fairly smooth. Oh, I didn't get Read the Bones, did I? I didn't get to Read the Bones. I'll pull that out because I think that's probably worth the slot, or at least having it around. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Something later. I think the Tortured Existence is a good idea to at least try out and look at. Oh, yeah. Angie would have been good. I know what you mean by not liking Angie in the deck. It's kind of a nice thing that can stick around and draw you, like discard a card, draw a card a bunch of times, and not necessarily worry about like it's a 1/3, so it can block a little bit. I kind of like it. Do I like the Beamtown Bullies? Good. It seems like a deck that could play out the same time every. Yes. That is something that I'm afraid of as well. The tutors into the graveyard make it something that looks like it's going to be very similar game in and game out. The difference is going to be how are people playing against it, and if they know that it's just a mean ass deck. Like, number one, I could just get hated out of games. That could easily happen. Number two is if the deck is doing its thing all the time, like, and it's the same thing all the time, is it just like leveler, kill you, and then have some Eldrazi attacking you. One problem that I see this deck having is closing the game out, because you don't want to go to Eldrazi into yourself. No, not at all. Easily removable. You don't have any means to take advantage of her ability. Well, it's just more card advantage, and I had like, at the beginning I had Seedborn Muse in there to be able to untap it. Still have the a couple of things that I can untap it a couple times, like if Beamtown isn't in play. Like, it's just kind of like it was a pure value card, but I was noticing like I just didn't need it. This way with Tortured Existence, I'm going to be able to like discard Eldrazi when I want, and if I don't use them, then I can bring them back to my hand and still have it work, like, later on in the game. Alright, let's kinda half-ass keep that. Scry, top. 2 for the Hermit Druid. Tap. 3. Maybe I didn't wanna do that one. We'll go for a basic. Alright, got rid of a Crusher. Oh, and that goes into my hand. What do we have here? Probably. Oh, do you know what? That was the wrong play. Damn it. That's why I do that. It should have been Wood Elves into a green into doing that. All right. That's why you get to take this shit back. All right. 1, 2, 3. Wood Elves. Forest. Could have gotten a duel. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I am worried that it's going to feel the same, but I think it's going to play more at the end of the night type thing. All right, now we're doing that. Whoop. Worse. Oh, that still goes into my hand though. All right, draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, it's probably better if I just Wheel of Fortune here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get 2 Eldrazi into the graveyard. I think I played my land. And then I can probably dockside X amount of tokens. Oh, maybe I didn't want to do that. Let's see here. I still want to probably Druid more than anything. So I'd probably Shaman into Druid. God damn it. All right, next turn. Plenty of graveyard. Land for turn. We'll go with the duel. We'll go with 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So Greaves into Bullies into Protected. And then if they do something, deflecting SWAT on somebody's turn, go and get a Path Razor. Do a 9. Annihilator 2. That's exiled. I can't do much about it. Deathrite. A land away for the Hermit Druid. We got some good cards there. Oh, there we go. But got that Eater Days forced into hand. Not too shabby so far. Land. Got top. But we'll say forest into, let's see here. We'll probably Druid. Ah, shit. Oh, it goes in the hand. Probably 1, 2 for the top. 1, 2, 3. Library can be on top. Actually, we'll want to draw that with top. We'll just say that. We'll ramp hard for a dockside and just probably also fan a Shaman. And then we would Eater of Days somebody. And that'll get exiled. Scepter's good for that. Jared deck because I played it the same time every time. Yeah, yep. The thing is you definitely want to make sure that your deck, if you get bored of it, you either want to change it up or, bin it. I don't think there's any problem with it. One thing that this was, I built it, relied heavily on EDH Rec just to see, timing restrictions and see kind of what it would do. And it normally takes me about 2 2 sessions, probably like 4 or 5 hours to put a deck together. So it just is something that's really helped, I guess. I don't really care about that. All right, now I'm just fucking stuck. Got land. Um, that's a good point. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of the mountain. We will play the mountain. Then we're just gonna fucking move this shit. I don't care about that. Gone. Get to dig a little bit deeper. All right, forest. Hermit Druid does some work, but I got some land in my hand that I don't need. All right, that's probably where I'm at, but I've, Eldrazi, Eater of Days, and probably this turn would be my last Eldrazi, Artisan of Kozilek, and I've kind of died out. Move some cards around, but I don't know. That one, I'm not unhappy about it, but I'm not in love with it. Probably the better play would be for me to take some basics out, if that matters. I'm not going to do that right now, but it'd make Hermit Druid much more effective. I'm not trying to like self-mill or anything, but it'd be nice to be able to hit some more creatures. And maybe Hermit Druid isn't right in this deck. Wait, never mind. Okay. Have you thought about Homeward Path? The ETB happens on your opponents, and then you can take the creatures back on to your side. Exiles the creatures at end of turn, no matter what. Yeah. Yep. So it exiles, and that's why the Scepter and Assassin are really good in here, because it destroys the creatures before they're exiled. So that is pretty cool. And that's why I was thinking about Avatar of Woe in here. But I don't have, it's hard to get enough creatures in the graveyard to just go black and have that ability. That's a ton of steps, if that makes sense. Like Homeward Path is not necessarily worth it. Plus a sack outlet, then you're able to do it over and over. It's probably better just to have Avatar of Woe, or maybe Attrition. Maybe Attrition works better, or you sacrifice your own creature, destroy your own creature to be able to do it over again. But once you start throwing Eldrazi at people, I think they're gonna heavily target you. That's just my thought. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also, one thing that me and Adam try and say is, like, when you're in a 4-person game, you first draw 8, next person's 9, third person's 9, fourth person's 10. And that's something that we do in games to help the fourth person out. It makes things more even, and kind of a little bit faster. But I don't do that when I goldfish, because I want like worst case scenarios. And I want to see how the deck works when you're not getting all of those resources. And then also I don't have to fuck around with like scrying and shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's acceptable. Draw. And we'll do that. All right. 2. And so I guess a question that I would have is, I probably don't even need to do the unmarked grave, but I'm gonna do it now, just so being half-ass efficient. But I probably don't want to go for like the killer, right? Because that scares people like crazy. So what would be a good one to go and get? Not Leveler, not Eater of Days. Um, hmm. I'm not even sure what would be a good one to go and get at this inverted truth. Nah. Probably Probably an Eldrazi. That's probably something that I'd get. Probably Pathrazor. The yeah, I got it in here. I got Even Blade Reaper in here. It's good. It's good. Yeah. All right. Draw. So this one's probably shoot. Swamp, forest, forest. All right. We'll go 3. We'll do a ramping. And we probably want a mountain. I got green in my hand. So Reaper's pretty cool. One thing that you got to watch a little bit in this deck, and I kind of saw it with EDH Rec. The 2 cards I'll show. I ended up having them in there, but I cut them or cut them. All right, well, let's get to that. These 2 bad boys, Plague Reaver and Phyrexian Negator. Okay, so these are bad cards to have, and if you're giving them, yeah, that's bad. But the problem is they're just bad cards. Like, you don't want them either, and you can give these with Beamtown Bullies with work, but you're never gonna want to tutor for it, and they could just not block because they're mad at you. Like, 5 damage isn't that much a game, right? And so that could just do nothing, and then it's gone. Plague Reaver, on the other hand, at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice each other creature you control. They would rather discard the 2 cards to sacrifice Plague Reaver. It's out of play, that goes away, and then it choose target opponent, which might be you. Return target Plague Reaver to the battlefield under that player's control until the beginning of their next upkeep. That's not something I want under my control. You know what I mean? So I think this one's a little silly. You might want to do that, but just my point. Just my thoughts on that. All right. So I went and got a land. Let's see here. Let's go like that. We will throw Pellet Possibility. Inverter of Truth goes in there. Draw 2 cards. Still got another land. All right. I think we go with... Probably didn't want to tap that green. I wanted that there. And then we're probably going to go green colorless for the Survival of the Fittest. And then we'll pay a green, get rid of Bronze Bombshell. And we'll probably go and get... We'll just do the Even Blade Reaper. Do you have Dragon Mage in there? I do not. I saw it, and I saw it as a like draw discard type thing. I don't dislike the idea. Like that could help quite a bit. Is that something that I'd rather do? That's not a bad one. I don't know. I might like it better than maybe some of the Eldrazi, like Crusher. Let's see here. All right, that's in. Next turn. Land for turn. So this is where I can... All right. Let's see here. Forest, mountain, swamp, mountain. We'll get Beamtown in play. I probably want to discard the blade and go get probably Deathrite. Let's see here. Maybe it's Dockside, but we'll get Deathrite this time. Then we can just start moving through. Deathrite in play. Swamp. All right. I do have Yavimaya in here. I do not have anything that... Is there anything that gives everything Forest Walk other than that really expensive card? But I want to say, I feel like that gives everything Forest Walk. I know you guys were... Some of you were specking it on it in the Discord when that came out a year ago. I guess there might be something from Portal as well that kind of does that. I'm going to have to think about it. Probably not worth it. Like, I don't care. And motherfucker. All right. Oh, I would have bullied probably the inverter into play. So somebody's on a short clock. Oh, that could be nice. Actually, with the Dragon Mage, that and Leveler, that's killing somebody, basically. I don't dislike that idea now. I like that. I like that. All right, I played my land. I don't really need the birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. I could start playing. So we will discard birds to survival. We'll probably artisan. Let's also survival of the fittest away for a dockside. Let's see here. Dockside. We will pay 1, 2. Likely we'll get 6 or more, so that's 3, 6. Artisan of Kozilek for 9, which will bring back the Pathraiser of Ulamog. And then when I say go, we will give that to somebody who will do something else. The other thing that would be nice here, all creatures, Lumbering Satyr. All green. Okay, yeah, I was thinking Hidden Path. You're right. Thanks for coming around, Cole. Glad you're on my side there. But giving Even Blade Reaper is probably one of the best plays because when it attacks, it's going to half that player's life who I gave it to. But the person that doesn't want to get hit and lose their half their life is going to block it and kill it. And then I can redo it again the next time. And then that's just kind of like a repetitive thing for whoever I'm giving it to. Um, and that's the great thing about that is like when it dies, it goes away. And that's why Bombshell is so good too, because you can just give 7, give 7. It's going to die because you got to sacrifice it. So those cards are pretty sweet. I'm pretty happy with how that went right there. Survival is it's a tutor. So this deck's my tutor deck. I don't think it's as good as Magda. I think Magda's fucking crazy. But it's probably a pretty shitty deck to play against. I will admit that. I don't know. Doesn't really feel like my style, which is all kind of good to play with. All right. Let's see here. All right. I'll probably go for one more here. One more go through. I'll look up Lumbering Satyr here once I get done shuffling. All right. Let's see. Let's see what that card is doing here. Let's see here. What the fuck? I don't recognize that. All right. All creatures gain Forest Walk. I mean, my deck's already bad. I already got plenty of cards. It's time. I don't think that's necessary, but that's actually a really cool card. I don't think I knew that one existed, which does not happen often, but yeah, that's just kind of like that'd be great for Marissi, like in the goading decks. That seems good. All creatures. Brutal. The hidden path gives all green creatures force walk. Okay. Yeah. I already shuffled. This is my thinking. That's what I got going on. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Time to make a forest walk tribal to how Urza's to show Urza's what's what. All right. One land. All right. Urza's gonna win, and that's what's gonna happen. He's so good. Or bad. He's kind of a weird guy. But his card's very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's play this through one more time. See how it rolls. All right. Hellcarver's brutal. 1, 2. We got that. I'm down. Yeah, that's a really good one. Second turn, Thrill. Ditch the Hellcarver. Draw 2. I got ramp on turn 3 if necessary. Draw. Mountain. Draw. We will Thrill with the Hellcarver. Draw 2. Got my land, which is what I wanted. We can throw down that dense foliage. All right, boop. We can get a forest or a swamp. We'll say a forest. Tag is good for me. And then dense foliage comes into play. Gotta shuffle up a little bit. Turn. Not bad, not good. All right, so I think what we end up doing is probably Dockside into Beamtown. They can't target it. Somebody's getting the Hellcarver Demon. And we'll go from there. That's gone. Whoops. Draw. That's turn 4. What are we doing here? I haven't really set up enough, but we'll probably Unmarked Grave into a Leveler. So somebody's already done, like, got rid of their hand and their permanents. If somebody doesn't have a graveyard, I'd get the Inverter of Truth. But if not, I'll get the Leveler. And this is turn 4. It's turn 5. No, turn 3 was that. Turn 4 into that. So this is turn 5. We're killing somebody with Leveler. Pretty easy, the tutors. Tutors are brutal. Leveler goes down. There's no way to target them. Nobody wrathed. 1, 2. Not entirely sure what I do, but somebody's already gone. Somebody's already done. There's one other person. The game's pretty much over, right? Game's pretty much over. So, all right. What a delicious tree is a foot. You're a foot person, huh? I didn't realize that, Cole. Good for you. Land base for Prosh help you with your Jund build? No, I mean I'm decently happy. The only thing that doesn't really work is the Hermit Druid, and Hermit Druid should work in here, but maybe it's just better to have a maybe it's better to have something else in here. You know, maybe because I like the basics. I don't have a problem with them, but Hermit Druid, when I was running it there, it kind of buries more than I want, which happens. I don't have much like graveyard stuff other than, you know, the tortured existence at this point. And obviously giving somebody something. Jared's orders makes sense. Painful truth. Vitalize. Let's just kind of run through it one time. I felt like I won that game pretty quick. You know, it's demoralizing. Thrill of possibility. Quest for renewal. It should be pretty solid. Could almost reach. I wonder if there's any. I should probably think about the Dragon Mage. I like Breaker of Armies because that'll probably get killed, and then I can do it again. Anything that I can redo seems solid. So maybe I get rid of Crusher and add in that Dragon Mage. And I think I'm going to bury Hermit Druid. Are there any dredge cards that could go decent in here? Just a thought, because I think there's that green one I was just thinking about. Oh, Siphon Mind might be better as the Read the Bones. So Read the Bones, something else. Chaos Warp. Royal Assassin. So Ulamog's Crusher can turn into the Dragon Mage. All right. Life from the Loam. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. So do we think Hermit Druid or Life from the Loam? Tomb, Hierarch, Tortured Existence, I think is going to do some work here. Titan Rocks. Library, Bane of Balaged. That's it. Those are probably the questionable ones. I think Dragon Mage might be the thing in here, especially with like Leveler and that Devoid Black card, Inverter of Truth. Those will just end games with that. I also have Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Maybe the idea is too that I should get get that other everybody draws a card in here just to move people through. All right, let's look for Life from the Loam. What do we think about Life from the Loam? I'll look for the other cards first. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hopefully I can have one sitting in here. Ever since the staple verses, I start putting in a bunch more decks. So sometimes I only have like 3-4 cards hopping around. You know, more in the bulk boxes, but sorry. Reckless Spite. Come on, be there or be square. Shoot. All right, Read the Bones is somewhere else. Maybe it's in that stack back there again. Or I've just used it up. So one reason I was thinking that Life of the Loam could work is because I do have a lot of like discarding cards. And so just getting lands in that I can discard, but maybe it doesn't work like you're saying. Because maybe that part doesn't matter. Hopefully there's one in here. I don't remember one, but what does that mean? Is Archfiend worth it? I don't have. Archfiend is brutal. What about something like Dread Summon? Each player, like you pay 2 black and an X. Each player puts the top X cards of his or her library into the graveyard. For each creature put into the graveyard that way, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token in the battlefield tap. So it creates a nice blocking amount of creatures. I can potentially hit some of these big guys that I can put in there. It's probably just too much work. It's probably not worth it. Shoot. Lethal Scheme. Target play draws 2 and loses 2. That might be my replacement. Alright. I'm gonna have to go get more Read the Bones. That's crazy. Crazy. Alright. Blood Pact to go in there for now. Let's see here. That's probably fair. I don't think I have a Dragon Mage easily accessible. Maybe. Let's check it out. Let's see if I got it way up there. Let's see. All right. Should be in this. Oh, I did. All right. I was wrong. Dragon Mage can go in. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Just being able to draw more cards, that makes a ton of sense. Thank you for that suggestion, Renshai. And then looking for a potential something for Hermit Druid. I don't know if that works fully. It's probably the probably just not working. So Life from the Loam, yeah, it's just a thought. Like being able to draw, mill a bunch off that, and then get those lands back in the hand, but like probably just doesn't matter. The other thing would be is like, what do you think about Avatar of Woe in here? Like I can try and get it back in. I liked that idea before. Because what it can do is it can kill, those creatures that I give or anything else. I have untappers that are allowing me. Maybe I'm going back to the idea that I like Avatar Woe, very similar to Royal Assassin or the Scepter. it's something that I can potentially, late game start winning the game with if I have enough untappers. Start really controlling the game. It's very good for usability, which this deck could need. Yeah, I think part of the problem I was having with it is that it might just be too slow, and I don't have any reanimation there. Flare of the Hatebound could add a lot of damage when those creatures start coming, but you're already kind of win the game at that point. Yeah, okay. So you're both thinking that Avatar of Woe could just help a lot in that realm of what for that effect. It's not the ideal one, but being able to kill one of those Eldrazi at the end of, before I have to exile it, because that's the probably the biggest drawback is needing to exile that card at the end of the turn. And so if you can destroy it on a reusability basis, I think it kind of works. Now, I guess the other thing is the other one that I can think of that's similar to Avatar Woe is something like Viscera Seer. Nope, not Viscera Seer. The Gorgon that taps. And it's 6 mana, but it's 3 black. I don't know. So there aren't actually a lot of cards like this, I guess. Um there might be a few more, but they're more like Chaos Group Hug type cards. So something like Boldwar Heavyweights would allow everybody to go that get their best creature and put it into play, other than whoever I gave it to. So that would be beneficial. There's a Wumpus that allows people to put, creatures from their hand into play. There's Tempting Worm that does a very similar effect. And so that's a little bit more like chaos, a little less streamlined. So I'm not sure if there just aren't a lot of cards that they make that are just like truly devastating to you that you'd want to give away. That makes sense. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I'm a little bit beyond what I was thinking I'd be doing, but that's okay. All right. Ash Barrens into a forest. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Get myself a forest. Mm-hmm. All right. Just set that on bottom. I'm not even gonna fucking do this. All right. Another one. Llanowar Elves. Jeez. The swamps are brutal. All right. I don't have any red. Probably go get the Reaper. Reaper might be like the soft, good card to go get. Maybe it's Bombshell as well. Maybe those are the two like early, just get it in the graveyard. And maybe I should just be waiting until I can cast Beamtown and some type of thing like that. But we'll see. All right. Red source. Not a red source. I have all the swamps. Shitty shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn. Leveler. No red. All right. Boop. Next turn. Next turn. Let's cast. I'm getting fucked. 1, 2, 3. Partial seal. We'll go 1, 2, 2 for the torment and leveler. Draw a card. Get that Elvish Mystic in play again. All right. This turn. All right. Green, red, black, colorless. Colorless to equip. Swiftfoot. I needed that for the red, right? Yep. Brutal. Probably deflecting swatted something, and then I have Heroic Intervention. That taps. We give somebody Leveler. That's game over for them. I don't have any untapping yet. Boom, boom, boom. So one person's dead. All right. Go find a goddamn mountain. Next, or somebody's turn. We give them Bronze Bombshell. Pay 1 to untap and do it again. They just took 14. And that's back in the graveyard. And we probably Heroic Intervention. Waste that shit. All right. We are out of cards. That's not a good thing, but Hellcarver Demon. Not something that we necessarily want to do, but we tap. Somebody just takes 14. Vitalize, I guess, does something. I wonder if it'd be even worth doing a Hellcarver Demon. I wonder what would happen. All right, let's say we cast that, right? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exile the hand, or sacrifice hand and all my permanents. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, never cast Hellcarver Demon in this deck. Don't just straight do it. Dockside doesn't do much. Necropotence, and then you got the 2 lands that you can't. That kind of flubbed a little bit. Not, but I don't hate the deck either. Like, that was something there. It doesn't seem like it's going to be super similar, other than the feeling of giving people creatures, but those creatures are always going to maybe be different. We'll see. We'll see. All right. I think we're going to call it. All right. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for joining us. Us on the live chat. I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you making it this far. Hopefully the Beamtown bullies and or Umbris drew your interest and you enjoy that. If you did, subscribe, please. Like what we have going on if you enjoyed it. Either way, bye.